Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 20 of the Stadia Source Roundtable podcast. How are you all doing tonight?
Good.
Doing good. Doing good.
Not bad.
Right,
Outstanding.
Outstanding. Yeah, we're missing a certain someone today, so I guess someone's got to kind of make sure he's here in spirit, I guess. So, but yeah, it's been an interesting week so far. So we've got lots to talk about tonight, but I just kind of want to obviously go around the table as we usually do at the start of the episodes and just, well, first of all, just ask how you're doing individually and obviously what you've been playing this week as well. So it's your time to kind of shine, I guess. So first of all, what have you been playing? And Avery, we'll go around in clockwise order. What have you been playing and how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's warm here in North America. I'm on the East Coast. Not as hot as it apparently is in some people's bedrooms and the aisles afar, but doing good. 100% ESO. I haven't touched anything else since ESO launched. Getting into it. Keep an eye on the site for my first hour review, which I'm about like 30 hours into it now, so I probably should write that review. But yeah, 100% ESO and loving it.
Ash, how are you doing?
Oh yeah, not bad. Just also really warm.
I know you can see my forehead glistening, and I'm not wearing the hat tonight, so I figured I can't sit for an hour and a half or however long we stream for with a hat on as well tonight. It's just too hot. So, but yeah, what have you been? 6 hours? Is that how long we're streaming for? Is it?
Yep, make a record.
You may be, but I'm not.
We can do this. We can beat Meg at something.
So what have you been playing then?
To be honest, Stadia-wise, I've not really been playing it that much.
Get out.
Never. No, I've been playing a bit of Red Dead and a few games on Steam.
Okie dokie. Lee, how are you doing and what have you been playing?
Yeah, I'm doing not too bad. All I've played this week really is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I am sort of just plowing through it, hoping to.
Are you ever going to complete that game? I swear that's what
I don't know
because every single week.
My save, I'm now at 45 hours played, and it just seems to be everywhere I go. There's another 3 or 4 missions I need to do, so it's like never ending.
By the time you finish it, Valhalla will be out.
I know, but I'm enjoying it. I'm still enjoying it, and that's the main thing. So, yeah. Other than AC Odyssey, I haven't played anything else this week.
Is it hot where you are?
It's warm. Obviously, I'm right on the coast of the northeast of Scotland, so it's probably a bit cooler than you guys further down south. But yeah, it's still quite warm.
We're in the Midlands, so we're like right in the middle of everything. But...
So it's still quite warm. Yeah.
Adam, what about you?
Yes, so I'm also very warm. It's 28 degrees in my bedroom at the minute, so I'm absolutely sweating, and you'll see this towel pop up now and then. I can't help it. I just have to. What I've been playing is I've been playing Little Nightmares. I've played both the base game and the DLC, and I've actually really enjoyed them. And I found out that there's a prequel on Android. I'd like to see it on Stadia, but it's not important because there's a Little Nightmares 2 that should be releasing on other platforms soon. If we'll see that on Stadia, I don't know. I've not heard anything. But yeah, it's been good fun. I've also been playing a little bit of Red Dead in bed at night. I'll just do a mission, do some chores. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's been a fun week, and I'll be getting a review done of the 2 Little Nightmares campaigns this week. I was hoping to get it done today, but we had quite a busy day with one of the other topics. 30,000 lines of code to read.
And we will be coming on to that later in the show as well. So I'm going to let you be the lead on that one when we get to it, because yeah, that's more your cup of tea, that stuff. It should be mine, but you seem to enjoy it more than I do, given that I'm the programmer, like, primarily.
Oh, yeah. Well, I suppose on the one hand, it's easier for me because I read C# and JavaScript's very similar to C#. But like you said, we'll get onto that later. How about you, Daniel? How are you and what have you been playing?
Well, if you can guess, I'm hot. as is most of the people here.
No, you're not.
I'm pretty warm too, actually. But yeah, I've been playing some Wave Break. I did a first look at Wave Break as well. That game is super hard, and you're talking to someone who was actually really, really good at Tony Hawk's Pro Skater as well. So for me to say it's hard is, it's saying something. Also been playing a bit of The Crew 2 as well. Picked up this the other day for the DS because I realized I'd never actually played it because I never owned a DS. So I said, like, is there anybody I could borrow a DS off? And then I remembered, my mum's got one, so I've just borrowed hers. She doesn't use it, so why not? So I guess, there's me moaning at Ash for playing Steam, and I'm playing the DS myself, so
how dare you?
Sacrilege. But other than that, not much. Just been working on the site as usual. So let's give a quick shout out to some of the people that are here with us this evening as well. So we've got Jay, hello. Nice Fluffy, you beautiful person. The Gamer Man. We've got Rock, how you doing? Eddie. Keith. Who else we got? Gregor. Where is Duncan? Duncan is not with us tonight. Hopefully he should be with us again soon, though, for the next one, perhaps. Talking about Pokemon Mobile, yes. I don't know if any of you guys seen that. I know it's not necessarily Stadia related, but we got a new Pokemon game called Pokemon Unite announced.
Seems a little bit of a mixed response from folks on that. I think it's currently underwater on the YouTube video by like several tens of thousands of dislikes. So yeah, we need a MOBA. That's what that means, is we need one because it's Stadia.
Yeah. So I don't think it's personally the type of game that I'd be interested in. I'll check it out. I mean, we got a Pokemon Cafe thing that dropped today for early access, and I think I probably did about 2 rounds of that, and I was like, yeah, this is not really meant for me.
Yeah, I think more than I should
have. Guilty pleasure. There was a game about Pokemon and brushing your teeth or something as well, so it's clearly aimed at people much younger than myself. So, but yeah.
Or from the Midlands. Nothing. Carry on.
Hey, I'm not from the Midlands, so.
You're not from the Midlands, but you live in the Midlands.
Well, that doesn't count.
It's close enough, Ash.
Your feet are becoming webbed as we speak. So.
I'm not one of you freaks.
Anyway, let's jump into to the news for the last week. So first and foremost, I just want to talk about the July Pro games that we had announced, and I'm just going to go and bring that up on my screen now and remove that so we can see Lee's lovely face. No, Adam, sorry. We've got SteamWorld Dig, which if you've been subscribed to Stadia Pro since all the SteamWorld games comes out, this should complete your set. So there's always that. We've got Crater. There's a lot of hype about Crater at the moment in the community. I know we've talked about it on here quite a lot, but it's finally going to be in our hands. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom and West of Loathing. So, all of those will be coming on July the 1st. Absolutely free if you're a Pro member. Anybody here excited for any of them?
Halfway. For me, Crater, obviously, can't wait for that. It's going to be amazing. Monster Boy as well. That looks like it's going to be quite a lot of fun, so I can't wait for that. West of Loathing, I'm not really interested in that, unfortunately. But the only issue I have had with this is that we're now getting the original Dig, whereas we've already had the second one. So for me personally, to then go back to the first, I don't really see a point. Whereas if they gave us the first one for free, a few months after to do the second one, then yeah, obviously, fair enough. Build your way up to it.
Yeah, it might be the case of that some people might go, well, I enjoyed the second one, so maybe I'll jump back and see if the first one's any good. So, but yeah, you're right. They should have given them away in order, if you ask me personally. But West of Loathing, I think that one's going to be an interesting one because I think a lot of people just take one look at the art style and think, yeah, that's not for me. But apparently, it is quite a funny game, and it is quite. It's one of those hidden gems, if you like. you've got to kind of play it to understand. So I'm given that it's free. Obviously, I'm going to give it a try and see if it is something that shines for me. Again, Crater. Yeah, sorry.
I was saying it's West of Loathing is sitting at a 10 out of 10 on Steam right now, so it's apparently quite popular.
Yeah, I think, like I said, people just look at the art style and think, yeah, maybe not. It's probably something that a kid made or something, but
figures.
But yeah, obviously Crater as well, as you said, Ash. That's going to be a big one in the community as well. A lot of hype for that at the moment. So interested in that one. I haven't really played too much of the Steam world, so that one's more of a. I can give it a miss, but Monster Boy, I don't really know anything about, if I'm honest, other than what I've seen in the trailers. So again, with them being free, the beauty of it is you can just boot them up, give them a quick 5-minute try. If you don't like it, move along. If you do, winner, chicken dinner. But
yeah, I don't like it. You can go on the pile with what's that game that we got? Panzer Dragoon. You can go on the pile with that one.
I liked that one ish. I finished when Dig 2 came out. That is a game that's perfectly in my wheelhouse. I love this kind of weird mining type games, and so I finished that one up. That was pretty much the game I played from when it came out until I finished it out. So it is weird that they went with 2 then 1, but I'll go back and try the first one, and as long as it doesn't feel like a downgrade, I'll give it a try. And of course, Monster Boy is another game in the series that started as Wonder Boy back on the Sega Genesis back in the day. And I played that back in the day in the late 80s, early 90s. So I kind of dig that kind of game. So I'm excited to see that one come out. And it's weird. It feels like this is going to sound bad, but I don't mean it. It feels like a cheap game. Like cheap in terms of like it's something you buy for $15 on a Steam sale and you enjoy it and you really like it and you play it for 10 hours and then you're done with it. And I think that we could use I think that is a component in the Stadia library that we can certainly use more of, because people might not want to put down $60 on Doom Eternal, but if they're going to give $15 or $20 to the devs for a cheap game that they like, that's more sales to get more developers interested.
And that's obviously if you're not pro and just claiming it for free anyway. So
whatever check Google is cutting for that, let them cut.
Lee, any of these tickling your fancy?
Yeah, Crater. I'm excited for that one. I'm excited to see what the community create on it, playing some of the community created games. Cause I think, people will create some real amazing things in that game, just going by the videos that we've seen so far. Monster Boy does look quite fun. So I'll definitely be checking that one out. SteamWorld Dig, no, I didn't really like SteamWorld Dig 2. I actually preferred when they all came out together, I preferred the Hand of Gilgamesh one, was my favourite.
Yeah.
And West of Loathing, it looks interesting. It's worth a try, isn't it? I mean, it's free. But, it's part of the pro deal. So, yeah, so I'll give it a go.
Monster Boy is €40 on other platforms.
Sucks to be them.
So I think we probably might be underestimating this game, to be fair. But,
pay your $10 and get it for free on our side.
Yeah. So like I said, Rox enjoy looking forward to Crater as well. So just a kind of plug for something that's happening in the community as well. I don't have it on screen to hand at the moment, but we're also doing it's almost like a community live stream event where it's being held by Andy Morphs, and basically lots of content creators are coming together to create something in Crater when it comes out. And I will try and look in a minute while someone else is talking, see if I can find some of the details for you as to when that's going to be. But I'm really excited to be part of that as well, and because I know myself and Duncan will be part of that. No idea what we're going to be creating yet. We haven't really discussed too much, but it's hopefully going to be something hilarious, something ridiculous. Yeah, watch this space, I guess.
Make a futuristic, almost like a cyber. Make a game like that looks as really futuristic, and you're doing cyber like punkish things, that should be where you aim.
Do we just create
I
Cyberpunk and
see
release it
where
before
this is
Cyberpunk
going.
releases their game?
I don't know
We've
how
got plenty of
powerful
time.
Lua is, but why not?
We've got plenty of time. Come on. It's only going to get delayed again. But yeah.
Later this year. It's always we can't read the finger quotes. It's later this year, but they're there. They're there.
So moving on, then we've got another batch of pro deals as well. So we already had some in place as it was anyway, but we've actually had a few others thrown in as well. So I'm just going to bring those up on the screen now. Where are we? There we go. So yeah, I'll kind of go through them each, and then if anybody's got something to say about it, just kind of chime in before I move into the next one. So any football fans? In here, Football Manager?
You don't have to be a football fan to play Football Manager. I don't like football. I still can't wrap my head around that bloody offside rule. But I did get Football Manager and I did enjoy it. Thankfully, if you're not a football fan but you like simulation games, because you don't have to be a construction fan to build a city sim, to play a city sim. But most of the stuff in Football Manager can be automated, so you can tell the game that you want the training schedule to be sorted for you. You can make it so that it decides who plays where and when, and you can have it sort out who you want to add to the team. So don't write it off just because you don't like football, because it is a good simulation game.
So Holtz has basically said that he's totally in a sports mood, so he's looking forward to seeing how FIFA plays on Stadia. So I don't know whether Football Manager and FIFA are kind of mutually exclusive, if you know what I mean. If you like one, you'll like the other. But yeah, it's definitely nice to see some sports fans in here as well. So next we've got the Metro Exodus. We've got the base game Gold Edition, the 2 kernels, and Sam's Story expansions, and this comes obviously hot on the heels of the Metro 2033 and Last Light Redux, however you pronounce it. Games releasing, I think it was not yesterday, the day before, or Tuesday, yeah. So maybe it's your chance to kind of, if you want to wrap up any of these before you move on to the next 2 games. I don't know where they are in the timeline. If anybody knows, then feel free to correct me. I don't know whether the
Exodus is the final game. Exodus is 2035. Last Light is 2034, and Metro 2033 is 2033. They go in that sequence.
And Exodus is the one that came out on Pro several years. I think that was the most expensive one we had on Pro to date at that point early in the year. So if you don't already have it and you're interested in those kind of games, I played 5 minutes of Metro Exodus, and the first scary thing that jumped out of a door at me, I shrieked like a little girl, hit the Stadia button, turned it off. So more power to anybody who wants to buy these. Not my kind of game.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Metro Exodus was one of the first 4K 60 FPS games that we had that was actually graphically demanding. I'm not talking like an indie game or something. And when you play it, oh boy, can you see how amazing it looks through Stadia. There's no way it would play as smoothly on a PlayStation, for example. And I'm a big fan of the Metro series, so I'm really glad they've all come.
Absolutely. Next up, we've got the Crew 2 Deluxe Edition and the Crew 2 Season Pass. I'm a big fan of the Crew, as I know Ashley is as well, because we often play it together.
Yep.
And I know the Crew's got some more content coming up as well. I think it's its 2-year anniversary or something. So definitely now is the time to jump in and enjoy these deals if you're looking to jump into that game at all. I mean, if you look here, £14.40 for the deluxe edition when it should be nearly £50 is absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of regretting buying the game before, like when I did now, but as is the case with Stadia, you have to take that plunge sometimes, and it usually comes to bite you in the ass later on when it's cheaper than what you paid. Anybody else a fan of the Crew?
Yeah,
I've played a little while of it. It's all right. I'm not a big fan of racing games.
I'm not really, but I mean, I think the free roam aspect of this game is what drew me in. I mean, you can literally drive around the whole of the USA, and obviously you do the races as and when you please, but otherwise you can just kind of drive around. You can fly a plane. I've got quite good at driving the plane, to be fair.
And it's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty spot on. Las Vegas is one of my favorite places in the world. It is obviously not accessible at the moment in many regards, but when you fly in or drive into Vegas and you see the different renamed casinos, like that's exactly where Circus Circus is. That's exactly what the Venetian looks like. That's exactly what the Excalibur looks like. I got married in Vegas at the Venetian. So I flew around and I showed my wife, I'm like, look, that's where we got married. And it's pretty spot on.
So we've also got a few other deals that were there before. So Assassin's Creed, don't tell Lee, because
I am tempted with that season pass.
I thought you'd have already had it.
No, not yet. I was thinking about it the other day, but I thought, do I really want to add more missions to this game before I get finished?
I want to take more. I want to take them off. I'll pay £12.50 to get rid of some of the bloody things.
ACO was the first game that I bought and played through, and like I got to the end of the main story, and then I'm like, oh, and there's all this other stuff. It's not. I can't. I just had to move on to something else.
So Borderlands 3, all of the additions in the season pass have got a sale on as well, and I believe it's. I'm kind of gonna. I was gonna do this later, but I'm gonna jump to this now. Emails.
You got an email.
I know. So Borderlands 3 has just had an expansion pack for called The Bounty of Blood, and that released today, and we heard absolutely nothing about it from Stadia, and really even 2K themselves. I didn't really see that much of it on Twitter. But yes, that's on the Stadia store now for £11.99. We've got a launch trailer there. And it also comes with 8 new achievements if you're one of those achievement junkies out there as well. So something that probably I'll be checking out maybe on the Xbox, purely because we've had this conversation in the past where I have most of my character progress on the Xbox from before it came out on Stadia, and I refuse to start again. So, but such is life. Anybody a Borderlands fan here other than me?
No.
I do like Borderlands, but with Borderlands 3, they've really dropped the ball. Because first of all, they used Unreal Engine 4. This was their first time using it, if I remember correctly, or was it 5? They used the most recent Unreal Engine, and there's a lot of bugs and issues on there. And not to mention the Stadia port doesn't have bloody couch co-op.
Yeah. For saying that, that was one of the things they actually touted in the first Stadia unveiling, was that couch co-op would become more prevalent, given the fact that they're just beaming to. Well, they're not even beaming anymore. It's still one video. It's just split into 2, if you know what I mean, on 2 different servers. So the fact that there's not many games that are taking advantage of it yet at the moment is a bit concerning. But perhaps we'll see more of it. I think people have just got so used to not being able to play couch co-op on most modern games that it's not really become that much of a requested feature, and so people aren't shouting too much about it. But perhaps
I'm going to start bloody shouting with my pen as well. I'm going to start poking them with my pen.
Well, it could be if they, when the new Chromecast releases, it's, supposedly going to have Bluetooth. So maybe if they allow you to Bluetooth up other controllers. Right now, a lot of people probably don't have 2 Stadia controllers. But if you have a Stadia controller and an Xbox One sitting there, and you can Bluetooth it to the Sabrina device, that might change the name of the game on Couch Co-op.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I loved Borderlands 3. I didn't experience any bugs. It was buttery smooth the whole time. First time I ever played a game in the series, and I just finished it about 2 weeks ago. So finished it in terms of main story. So ever the optimist. Yeah.
Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon and the Year One Pass, they're on sale as well now for a ridiculously cheap price as well. So if you're looking to jump into that and haven't already, I'd definitely check that one out. Just Dance 2020, Tommy dodged the bullet with that one. We still expect it from you, Tommy, if you're watching. I mean, you may no longer be part of Stadia Source, but we still want that video. So
we'll get him dancing.
We'll get it. He owes me one anyway. He knows what I'm talking about.
I've had that game
I don't
for
want
about
to
3
know.
months now, and I still haven't played it. It's too hot now. That's my excuse.
Yeah. If you want some Just Dance action, go check out Club Stadia because he did a charity stream and he's a better dancer than I thought he would be. Let's say that. Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate Edition. Yeah, Ash, you play that quite a lot, but anybody else a Red Dead fan?
I bought it on in this pro sale with the £10 voucher that we had as well. So I managed to snap that up for £38, and I was really chuffed with that. That's a birthday present to myself. That was. Yeah,
I was just going to say actually, if anybody's not used their £10 voucher at the moment, as long as, say for example, if you're getting Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate Edition, as long as the deal that you're taking advantage of, the pro deal or the normal deal, has the base game in it, you should still be able to use it. So now some of these games here now are absolute steals. So to have a further £10 off them, now's the time to do it, unless you're waiting for something like Cyberpunk or Marvels or something.
Yeah, maybe Red Dead fans can give me a bit of a. I bought it the last time it was on sale. I made it through the snowy shenanigans at the start, made it to the town, and then it wouldn't lock in for me. Is that one of those games I need to give it a little bit more time, post when you get to your camp at the very beginning?
It's a slow burner, and it never really speeds up. It's a game you play at your own pace. Sorry, Ash. That's
right. It's a game whether if you're purely in it for the story, then yes, like Adam said, it can take time, as well as especially if you do all the side quests. But if you just want it just to have fun, then just go for it as soon as you can. Then just ride and see what you can find and enjoy.
Okay, we've got we've got the Tom Clancy's Division 2, Warlords of New York, and the expansion there on sale as well. So obviously one of them is if you don't already own it, own the Division 2, and one is if you do it but you just want to kind of add the expansion. So Tomb Raider and Trials Rising as well. So Trials, I want to kind of bring that up as well. We've just got Season 6. What?
Look at how many tabs you've got open and your messy bookmarks. Sorry, carry on.
Why? Don't look at my bookmarks.
Well, what have you got?
Don't invade my privacy like that.
Control Shift B. This stream written for mature.
So yeah, Season 6 of Trials has just started today. And we're going to see some new content coming over the next few weeks. And it's called The Journey of Trials, and it's going to be a free update as well. We've got the Giga track, which I think it says there, it debuted in Trials Evolution, and it's basically the biggest official Trials track that has ever been made. And it takes about 14 minutes in order to earn the Platinum medal. So...
Giga track. You're going
to have to flex your fingers for that one, because sometimes Trials can be quite a finger acre, if that's even a word, as it is anyway. So
we've took me 40 minutes to do bloody bronze.
We've got the new bike, which is it's almost like a over the top penny farthing, somewhat, I guess.
Yeah.
It might be worth adding as well that the Giga track isn't coming out until July the 16th, and this bike is going to be July the 2nd, and you have to buy it for 45 acorns. We've got some new outfits as well, and there's also a trailer. And we also got a load of patch notes as well, so some of the errors and bugs that have been ironed out in the game. If you're interested there, just head over to stadiasource.com and you can find all the information there. So, that's pretty much it for sales. Unless anybody got anything to add, I'd like to move on.
Could be worth adding, if anyone's getting Ghost Recon Breakpoint, there is a big patch due for it in July. It's going to add AI teammates and a lot of quality of life fixes to the game. Because it was one of the things that was missing from Breakpoint that was in Wildlands was the AI teammates, and it's been one of the most requested features for Ubisoft to add, which is coming in July.
Excellent news. So moving on then, we had some Cyberpunk. Let me get rid of that 1 second. We had some Cyberpunk 2077 news today from, I can't remember what it's called now. It's The Wire.
CD Projekt Red. Night City Wire.
That's the one. Yeah. So obviously Lee wrote this lovely article for us here. So he's probably more experienced to talk about it than I am, I hope. I see his eyes go wide there. But we got lots of new information about the game that just seems to be in a perpetual state of never releasing. But Lee, do you want to talk a bit more about it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually watch the stream itself, so I can't give like a rundown on the actual event, but the trailer, basically it just gives us a good look at the, Night City and some of the NPCs and the storyline. But again, unfortunately, it's sort of kicked up a little bit more confusion with the release date again.
Yeah,
again, it's listed in Stadia, but the press release again is going with Google Stadia will launch in the same year.
Coming soon.
Which, given the game's going to be out on November 19th, isn't exactly it's not a huge window. So you thought that maybe they'd just come out and say, nope, it's coming out in Stadia here on this date. But
I don't get why they can't just do that. And I know a lot of people have taken to Twitter to just spam Stadia with messages saying, when is it coming out? Please, can you just say something rather than nothing, because it's getting ridiculous now. We've got some people that are, that it's almost become like factioned. We've got the camp that's saying, no, it's coming day and date. We've got some people saying, no, it's going to be out later in the year. And then one faction uses one piece, the website against the others, and it's turning a bit nasty. So we just need someone to come out, please, and just put us out of our misery.
I'm hoping at this point it's a case of maybe Google want to announce the date, and that's what's causing the hold up. Maybe if there was going to be a Connect at the same time as E3, that Google were going to announce. If we don't
get an official release date on this next Connect, right, then they've lost all, I can't think of the word, but respect from me in terms of the fact that they obviously want to announce it themselves, if that is the case, because that is the time you announce it.
Yeah, I think if we don't see a release date in the next Connect, it's not coming to Stadia this year. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think it'll come to Stadia this year. I think it'll be... No, you go, Ash.
No, just to slightly go against what Dan just said about the potential of it being announced at Connect. I did see a tweet earlier on Stadia's Twitter from the event earlier of, I can't remember the guy's name, but a guy asking, are we actually getting on the 17th or is it getting delayed? And Stadia's only response, 19th. And Stadia's only response was that the date isn't down to them, it's down to the CD Project CD.
CG Projekt Red, yeah. But I can tell you from a software development perspective, they're not going to give us a date unless they know beyond the shadow of a doubt that they can hit that date. And it could very well be. We could get surprised the hell out of it. And they say, yes, November 19th or whatever it is, same as everybody else. You're getting it. Surprise. But they're not going to do that until the very moment that the vice president of product at CD Projekt Red says, yes, we're approving this to go live on this date. It doesn't matter if Google wants them to do it. It doesn't matter if the developers want him to do it. There is somebody at CD Projekt Red that has a nameplate on his or her desk that makes that call. And right now, they are not making that call. And it could be that Google they really want to say it at the Connect. They desperately want to say it. Hey, you've told us you're going to try for December or whatever. Please let us say it. And they're saying, nope, not until we're ready. And we're just not going to get that date 1 minute before they're ready to tell it to us. Even if it is day and date, we're just not going to get that date.
Yeah.
I just hope that I saw a comment earlier on Twitter. I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry for not crediting it, but let's just hope that when they say that it's coming in the same year, direct quote, same year, that they don't mean the fiscal year, because that could be right up to like the middle of Q2 2021. So yeah.
I will say, fascinating tweet in the thread. One person asked, will you upgrade your platform to support ray tracing? And their response was, hey there, thanks for reaching out. It's up to the publisher to determine the compatibility with ray tracing. So if Cyberpunk 2077 is supposed to have it, they can apparently have it on Stadia, interestingly enough.
Absolutely. And fingers crossed, because we need a bit of good news for this game. I mean, today was good and all. I mean, it quenched a lot of thirst for the game, as it was anyway. And like I say, if I just bring this back up on the stream here, we got a 4K story reveal trailer. We've got a gameplay trailer here as well. And we've got some nice little screenshots down here as well from the game. And I must say, it's looking absolutely beautiful. I mean, just look at the jackets on there, the amount of detail into just making it look like it's a, see-through plastic jacket or whatever it's supposed to be made out of.
I watched the stream today, and it's really nice looking. I commented on our group Slack that I haven't really got the hype for it. Then I watched through the presentation. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, particularly because what they show you in the trailer and all the footage that was released today, they're doing many things and lots of story and lots of activity, and it's just the prologue. Everything you saw today, if you watch that stream, was just the prologue, and it looked like that could be a whole game. So if that's just the beginning of it, this is I might buy into the hype. Maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely got me more hype for the game. It has been one of those games that I've always kind of thought, why is it that much? Like, why are people so obsessed with this game? Is it just because Keanu Reeves came out and made a meme about it? I don't know, but definitely seeing this. Yeah, but it's definitely piqued my interest in it anyway. So, let us know in the chat if you're excited about this game as well. Anybody got anything else before we move on to the next one? No. So I want to talk about, and I know some people in this are going to get really excited now, the Marvel Avengers War Table reveal that we had yesterday, was it? Yeah, it was.
Yes.
If I just bring that up on my screen now. So yesterday we had the War Table for Marvel Avengers, and we got to see some actual gameplay footage of the game as well. I must say, if you weren't already interested in this title as it was, then definitely watch this, because this is going to make you even more excited for it. We got quite a lot of information as well. We got story trailers, gameplay reveals, things like customization. Obviously, you can see the Hulk wearing his costume there. Always funny. Things like Warzone and the co-op gameplay. And overall, the presentation was it was amazing. So, Ash, I know you watched it. What are your thoughts on it?
So I've been following this game since its first announcement, I think last year. Which, being part of the Square Enix press release thing, we then got bonus footage, which then showed Ant-Man and a few other characters that we weren't shown in the first trailer. So this obviously expanded on that. We got, like Dan said, we've got the trailer as well as 3 other quick looks. Of that is the one of the story mode trailers for single player, which that alone just looks amazing. Flying around as Thor, having Iron Man fly in and helping you out. Sorry for the motorbike noise in the background.
It's
Then we
Iron
had
Man approaching.
He's coming for us already. He knows our secrets. Then we had the customization, which there was a ton of it anyway. We saw glimpses of it with the pre-orders of what you could get for the different levels of pre-order. As well as that, like Dan mentioned, you've got the different version of Hulk, which I believe that was from... that one was from Ragnarok. Not 100%, but I believe that is.
Yep.
It looks like it was, yeah.
Yeah, or at least quite similar. A lot of the outfits and costumes are taken from the backlog of the 80 or so years of the comics. When we've not been clarified as well if any of that's coming from the MCU movies as well, or if it is just one or two parts. But the outfits themselves do look amazing from what we did see. As well as the skill trees, the hero moves, and then the online multiplayer trailer as well, which again looks fantastic. Which, as well as that, you get the helicarrier from Avengers, which starts off as a wreck. It's been through a bit of a battle, and then as you go through that, you then level it up, upgrade it, and then upgrade yourself.
So one thing I noticed by this at the moment is obviously it seems to be quite loot based as well. I mean, I noticed the different coloured things like the purple and the green, blue armor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Marvel has got so much lore behind it as it is with the comics and stuff like that. Anyway, so I think there's a bit of everything for any type of fan here. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't really that much of a Marvel fan until the film started to come out and get a lot better, the cinematic universe and what have you. So I've had to kind of go back and learn a lot of it. But I'd still say I'm a better fan than Ash because he doesn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. than I do. So
Yet I've known Marvel for been a fan of Marvel for years. See, the only downside I'd say to this is that with the costumes, at least, most of them you do unlock them through progression, but then there are quite a few that you then have to purchase through the marketplace, which then microtransactions.
Yeah, real money. It's always the case with loot-based systems, though, isn't it? When you've got like purple armor and stuff like that.
Yep. They does give off, I don't know if any of y'all ever played the MMO that got shut down, Marvel Heroes. It has a very strong vibe of that because it's that same kind of it's a little less Diablo-y than Marvel Heroes was, but it's got that same kind of like loot fountain look to it where it's, you know, your little character going through and blasting baddies. So it gave me very big vibes of that particular game, but I'm a big fan of all of this stuff. So super excited. Age of Ultron, or no, sorry, Endgame came out while I was on a cruise for my honeymoon. So we got back into town and I had to like turn my phone off. So I saw and heard nothing until we could get from the port to a theater. It was a lot.
Yeah, I remember watching both films back to back in the cinema. I tell you what, my arse was numb after that, but
all I will say
it's
is
definitely worth it.
All I will say is that there is a theory that I've heard about it. Thanos was actually worthy of Mjolnir.
Because it depends on your definition of worthy.
Nope. This goes, just as a side note, just quickly, this goes off the theory of Odin. Because he did whatever, even though he took over worlds, destroyed thousands of lives, he did what was good for his people and for Asgard. Thanos did the same. He was doing what was best for the grand total of the universe and the people within.
Yeah, so his intentions were good. It's just
Yes.
his methods was crap. But yeah, I see where you're going with that one. So anyway, anybody else got anything to add before we move on to the next topic? No? I think this next one's probably a bit more for me. And that is Wave Break. And I mentioned earlier on in the podcast as well that this game is pretty difficult. I actually did a half an hour first look at this game, and it does play quite a lot like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game. So if you have played those games in the past, there will be some kind of like you'll be able to jump into it a lot quicker than someone who's never played that game. Things like being able to grind on rails and there's almost like a revert type thing, which obviously if you don't know what a revert is, it's when you land on the floor, you can kind of carry on your combo by switching your board around. And there's all sorts of that, and collect combo, collect skate, collect the. You have like a list of missions on each level that you have to complete to unlock the next one. I only managed to get about 4 of the missions unlocked for the very first one, and I gave up after that. But there's also some cool additions to it, such as, for example, there's the ability to fire guns and stuff in it and pick up different weapons and shoot other players on the map as well. I know Duncan and Kelly did a stream of it as well, and I caught a little bit of that. Kelly killing Duncan it's always going to be funny. It's never not going to be. So if you get a chance to check out their stream as well, absolutely go and do that. I know there's a few people in here that haven't really got much of an interest in it, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. You know what I mean? Is there anything that would make you have a look at this game if it was a pro game, for example, or?
That's about it. It looks fun, but there's so many other games that I would want to play that I want to play more. But if it's the kind of game that looks like it's going to come out on Pro. I think almost everything that's a first on Stadia will eventually make its way to Pro, just because they're the people that have the biggest deals with Google. So
yeah, and it's also worth noting as well that this game is kind of almost like a beta, somewhat. I noticed, for example, that there's no achievements at this point in time. I know they are coming, but at this point in time, there are no achievements for the game. Eddie says the deathmatch is really cool. I will have to check that out, Eddie. And I know he sent me an invite the other night to play actually with him, and I was busy at the time. But rather than tell him I was busy, I just ignored it and then completely forgot about it. So I'm sorry, Eddie. I'm apologizing now for that. We will have to. We will have to have a game with that. No,
Rude.
Go sit in the corner.
Shame. But I just want to address this. How long until we get the same multi-platform games? I'm not going to pay $500 for a console, but I don't think I have a choice. If you want my honest opinion, it's going to be a little while before we can see parity between obviously Xbox and PlayStation and Stadia. I think we've got to give devs time to obviously create the games, to build relationships with Google and Stadia, learn how to bring the games to the platform and utilize the system. So you might want to consider, obviously, if you're looking for things like your Call of Duties and stuff like that, at least for the interim anyway, you might want to consider looking elsewhere.
Yeah, it's 2 years minimum. A lot of these games have already been in progress. There are going to be some developers like CD Projekt Red who are perfectly happy to open the pipeline back up and start another platform. And there are going to be devs who are not willing to do that. And a lot of it is probably just going to come down to whoever the director of that game is as to whether or not they want to bother extending their people's time on it. But we've got 2 years minimum before every single game that everybody else gets, we also get. Don't expect it before 2021.
Well, it's like with.
No, go ahead, Ash.
Well, it's like with GTA 5 that was originally wasn't going to come to PC. It was just people badgering through Twitter and Reddit and all that we did then get GTA 5. But even then, that took 2 years. Then with Red Dead, again, we weren't sure if we were going to get that for PC straight away. And again, that took another year after release for it to come to PC. So again, it's a bit half and half when it comes to games that are on console and then coming to Stadia.
And obviously, don't forget that I think they're on about expanding the life of GTA even further. Rather than creating the GTA 6, I think they're going to continue to try and create content for for GTA 5 for a good couple of years to come, if possible. So there's every chance we could still see it come to Stadia, given that obviously it's pretty much on most of the platforms as it is anyway.
I would rather that they didn't abandon Red Dead Online than carry on with a game that's on it that will be on a third generation of console.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this on the last show, didn't we? Actually, that GTA 5 actually came out during the 360 and the PS3 era. Because I remember actually it was a case of I can buy it for the 360 now, and then I think they were going to automatically upgrade you or something if you bought it on the 360, if I remember rightly. Because at first I was worrying, like, I'm not going to buy it on the 360 if I'm then going to have to buy it again on the Xbox One. So, this game has pretty much lasted for an entire console generation, and it's still going strong. If you look at the metrics and the amount of money it's making, it's still going strong. So there's absolutely every reason why they would want to carry on rather than just abandon it completely. I mean, who do you see playing GTA 4 nowadays online? Probably no one. So, and I think we had a similar thing with Destiny, actually, if you think about it, because obviously Destiny, when they transitioned from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, they lost a lot of content in Destiny 1 because people stopped playing it in favor of Destiny 2. And there's a lot of great content in the first game, which people will never get to experience. And I feel like that's the same with GTA at the moment. If they create a brand new game, you know what I mean? There's going to be people that haven't played GTA yet that might actually like the game, but now they're having to start again in a completely new one, and all the progress that you've made in online and stuff like that is just going to be lost, and you have to start again. So something to think about anyway. There you go, top 10 selling game. It's wild. So yeah, it's done well for a game of that age. 2 years will damage Stadia. The cycle will repeat. If people buy next gen, they are going to get the games on then. Stadia loses.
See, that the problem with that is it assumes that there's another console to buy. Yes, if you are a person who has a PS4 and then you want to play PS5 games and they don't do the trade outs, then you got to go buy a PS5. That's just not the case with Stadia. So Google has all the time in the world to ramp up the library and ramp up the features and ramp up the set, because at any point in time you can type in stadia.google.com and start playing a game, and you don't have to go to GameStop or Game or whoever and buy a $400 console. So sorry, Richard, got to disagree.
I think though I agree with you to a certain extent, Richard, on that one. I'm going to kind of be the opposite on this. And I think for as long as what games aren't on Stadia, like the big AAAs like Call of Duty and all that lot, for as long as they're not on Stadia, someone's going to then go and buy them on Xbox and PlayStation rather than buying it on Stadia and investing more into the system. So, and then people have already got this mindset of like, all my games are on Xbox anyway. I mean, of course they're going to be. The Xbox has been around for 7 years or whatever it was. So cloud gaming is something you've got to want to like consciously buy into, because of, I mean, you've got to kind of look further afield as to where cloud gaming is going to go in the future, not what it is currently now. So it might damage Stadia in the interim somewhat, slightly. But I think we've said this time and time again, they're looking further afield, and I think that's why a lot of this negativity we see on the internet at the moment, that's why they can brush it off, because they've got a further plan in place. So we'll see.
With that, I didn't really see that much of a huge issue, because it's like with me, I had Red Dead's downloadable on the Xbox One. As soon as I got Stadia, again, I got it on Stadia. Star Wars Fallen Order, got that on Xbox One as well. And as soon as it comes out for Stadia again, I'm going to switch over, because I want it on what for me is the best platform with the highest quality, which again for me is Stadia.
Also,
not to mention the people who don't have those systems at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't mind double dipping. People say, "Oh, you have to buy all the games again." Who cares? You know, I've played Skyrim on, I think it's about 6 different devices, including I'm not going to say her name, but she's a little round speaker that likes to talk back.
Alexa.
Ah.
Mine
I've got earphones in.
Shut up.
I don't mind buying that game multiple times, and do you know what? I've even got it on my PlayStation 4, and I don't think I've gotten out of Whiterun yet on PS4, but I've got it in case I ever want to play it. Just like I would get it on Stadia, so I could play it on my phone. Anyway,
Yeah.
rant over.
So there's only a few more things that I'd like to talk about before we wrap up this evening. First of all, this is going to be groundbreaking for a lot of people here.
The long wait is over.
Yes.
Yeah, the game of the century.
How dare you?
Screw the Elder Scrolls 6
to everyone.
Yeah.
No.
Do you want to know what it is, guys? SpongeBob. So, yeah, obviously, like I said, forget your Call of Duties, forget your Elder Scrolls, your Cyberpunk. This is the game. We actually got a release trailer for the game, and if I just bring this up for you, shut up. If we go right to the end, there we can see clear as day. If it weren't for the bloody pop-up, Stadia logo is present, which leads us to believe, oh, there's a better one, that this is coming out for Stadia, and we've had absolutely no confirmation from Stadia themselves, nothing from THQ Nordic to confirm this other than this. Why games have to be announced for Stadia this way, I do not know. I mean, you'd have thought if it's got to this point and the logo's there and the trailer's out, they just come out and say, yes, it's coming. You know what I mean?
Well, it could be that this is me not knowing how the other platforms operate, but when a new game is coming out on PlayStation, Xbox, do Sony and Microsoft usually make announcements? I get that Stadia is different, and every game right now is a big deal because we only have 60 of them, but maybe they're prematurely transitioning into a point where but then they don't, because then the Kinect is coming up and we think that all the games we haven't seen trailers, there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. That's what we're learning here. There's no plan.
Well, touching on that, when the Sony had their PS5 event, Aaron Greenberg from Microsoft or Xbox, he was on Twitter, wasn't he? And he was, he put a tweet out saying, "Don't worry, Xbox fans." He listed off the games that Sony had revealed, saying, "Nope, these are also coming to Xbox, so you can play them on Xbox."
And that's what you're going to want to do if your competition is revealing all these awesome games that's coming out on their platform. You're then going to want to say, "Well, hang on a minute, they're also coming out on our platform too," because you can't really let them have the thunder. It's a business after all. And I'd have liked to have seen something from Stadia in the same respect. We're probably going to see a lot of this at the Kinect anyway, but you know what I mean? The logo's there. Whether it was an error or not, just come out and say, yes, SpongeBob is coming out. I'm sure you can kind of rejig the little things behind the scenes.
I mean, it's like it got leaked about that new Star Wars game from EA. Is it Squadrons, isn't it?
Yeah.
That it's going to be revealed at the EA Play event. Now, it got leaked, so rather than EA keeping quiet about it, they came out and announced, here's a teaser for it. Yeah. It's you'll see more at EA Play. Just own it. Just own the mistake and let people know that it's happening.
And it's not that Google doesn't have experience with that. When the Pixel 3 got leaked, they put out their own photo saying, "We heard you've seen rumors about this picture." So they've done it before. I guess this game is weird to me. The level of hype that this has had. I've seen this referenced on every gaming blog, even games places that don't normally cover gaming. This was a PlayStation 2 game. It was a GameCube game that has been remastered. Why is this Did anybody play it on PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube, Windows, or Game Boy Advance?
Yes.
And was
Did
it
you actually,
amazing
Ash?
then?
I actually did. I did play this one on Xbox, and I strangely enjoyed it. Shut up.
So what's sell it to me, Ash? Why is this game going to be awesome?
Because you play SpongeBob. What other reason do you need?
I guess. Is Patrick in it?
Yes. They all are. It's
Only
SpongeBob.
reason.
Squidward is suspiciously missing for no reason, and they never tell you why. But other than that, full cast.
Yes.
I guess this comes on the back of the news that SpongeBob is LGBTQ+. That's quite an interesting announcement, wasn't it?
Sponges reproduce asexually. This has been confirmed by Steven
long-
Hillenberg.
As long as David Hasselhoff isn't in it, that's all I care about. I love the guy, but he doesn't need to be in everything. This is one of them.
Go watch
You're probably a bit
Jekyll and
old
Hyde. Yeah. You gotta go watch Jekyll and Hyde, one of the best musicals out there, starring David Hasselhoff.
No thanks.
And just a big shout out to Stadianos. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right for the tip off on that as well. They actually were the ones that found out this trailer. So big shout out to you guys for that. Thank you very much.
Just a quick one, just to go to what you said about this. Because at the start you said it could be a mistake that having the Stadia logo there. I highly doubt that, because obviously this image would have been produced by the THQ side, Nordic. Either them or the company that works with them. They would have also had at least multiple people going through this image and footage alone just to make sure everything is at 100%, for them not to notice Stadia being there and be like, wait a second, how did we get this image to then put it on the trailer and the image?
Yeah, there's no way it didn't. There's no way that it got missed by so many teams of people saying, right, is this right? Is this right? Are you sure this is coming on this platform? I guess I'm just going to assume you're right. That wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
it's the same as that Apex Legends thing that happened the other week. You know, we all know it's coming. They even when they were taking it off of the site, when when EA went to them and said, oh no, this isn't true. They went, well, actually, you told us it was true. On Twitter, publicly, they said, well, they did tell us. We're not lying. They did tell us that it's coming, and now they're saying, oh, no, it's not. So we all know it's coming. Mistakes like that don't happen, except for Orpheus.
Basically, the way that Stadia seems to go about it is, I like this wallet that you've got. We don't know if that's a wallet. You'll have to ask the makers of it. Right? We can see it's there.
I just think Apex
social media
should
team
be at the Connect. I think that's why that's been done that way, because I assume what happened was, there was a brief before the EA event saying Apex is coming to Stadia. Do not say anything about it at the moment. Washington Post obviously made a mistake and put it out there. EA's obviously wrapped them in the knuckles, and most likely because I would think it's going to be at the Connect, and that's how they want to get it out there.
Yeah, Adam, you just made a good point. Actually, it's made me think that maybe the small Stadia logo on 5 seconds of a video could actually get past people, and that is obvious. I mean, if an entire build of a game can leak online, surely a little logo can make its way onto a video.
But here's the thing: somebody had to provide them the assets for it. So whoever added that logo got high-res PNG or whatever files from the Stadia media team, or pulled them off a server. But THQ Nordic, I don't think. Are there any other THQ Nordic games on the platform right now?
Darksiders.
Darksiders.
Yeah, Darksiders.
Destroy All Humans, I think, is THQ Nordic when it does that.
Yes, yeah.
Monster
even
Jam
then-
Steel Titans is also by them as well, but that's not out yet.
How could I have forgotten Monster Jam Steel Titans?
But even then, all those assets would have been sent to the companies, like the individual creators separately, rather than, just access all our files. Because obviously they'll need different colors of the same logo, like with SpongeBob, all the logos are white. With other games, there may be all black logos or all red logos. So yeah, it's not really something that's easily missed.
So speaking of new games that have been announced as well, Lee actually found another one today, didn't you, Lee?
I did, yeah.
One hand clapping.
One hand clapping was the one, as I was doing my usual searches during the day. Which is basically it's a strange one because it was announced back in, I think it was July 2019.
Yeah.
As coming to PS4, Xbox, PC, and Switch, and then nothing more has been said about this game since. I know I think there was a demo at Gamescom that year that people seemed to enjoy, and I think it actually picked up some awards at Gamescom, and that's it. It's gone quiet, and then all of a sudden, on 2 different rating sites, a rating pops up for a Stadia version of it.
The Google search for the studio Bad Dream Games, their lead line is, Bad Dream Games is an indie game studio founded in 2018. They are best known for their popular demo, One Hand Clapping.
Yeah. It was, I think, a demo from a couple of university students from the University of Southern California. And that's where this is spawned from. But it's also worth noting that it's being published by... I'll find the name of the people.
Handy Games.
Handy Games, who are owned by THQ Nordic. So it could be a sort of good sign that obviously more THQ Nordic are getting behind Stadia, so we could see more games from them. Well, we know we're getting Destroy All Humans and of course Steel Titans, Monster Jam Steel Titans, but it could be some more in the pipeline in the future.
So obviously this is a game where you're expected to sing.
Well, yeah, it says that there's voice control. I don't know how that. Obviously, you can. The Stadia controller picks up your voice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the inbuilt mic. You've got your headset.
Yeah.
You've also technically got. I don't know whether they'd use something similar to what Just Dance uses to use your mobile phone.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps, I don't know.
I just find it interesting that obviously a Stadia rating has appeared, but there's been no ratings for any of the other platforms it was first announced on.
And Handy Games is also the publisher behind Spitlings.
It is indeed, yes.
There you go. Yeah.
They have there's a lot of games. I'm on their site. There's a lot of games that have had trailers. Chicken Police, Locks Quest, This is the Police, El Hijo, things that have been in all of these streams that we've had lately, coming out to many things. So maybe it's the beginning of more for us from Handy Games.
Absolutely. And then our last topic for this evening, which is an Adam special, and that is Google Assistant, family sharing, demos, invites, and more. So I actually got quite a lot of this up on the screen, so I'll kind of go through them one by one. So, Adam, you've been looking into the Google Assistant partially working in Stadia now. And I believe Duncan was the one that obviously wrote this as well, but he's not here to talk about it. And I think Lee, you actually...
Yeah, that's...
was it?
My
am I getting the wrong person here?
You can see there, yeah.
Sorry.
And I do apologise if anyone watched that video and hears my kids in the background as they were running wild at the time as I was trying to record it, because I literally saw... I can't remember who it was on Reddit had posted it. I thought, no, I'm gonna have to go check this out, and I need to do it now. And yeah, lo and behold, it does. It works to a certain extent, but yeah, it is, and it is there at least on Chromecast Ultra.
And I actually toyed around with it earlier as well, and it doesn't really do too much. I mean, we already had the ability to start games from the actual dashboard using the Google Assistant, but now it seems that you can obviously hot swap the games as you play in it, which it's a good feature to have. It's a pointless feature, but it does. It's good to have because it does take you less button clicks, and the fact that most people press the Google Assistant button by accident anyway, don't they? Really, so. At least it gives it a use now.
Did you try any of the assistant-y type things like timers, alarms, check the weather?
I did.
Yeah.
I checked. I did. I went through checking the weather and different things and asking, certain things on Google, which was working. I was just asking it random things about the games I was playing. Could you get help with this sort of mission, or could I get tips for this game, sort of thing. But nothing was. It was coming back with absolutely nothing. So, I mean, I don't know if that's something they'll expand on if the feature obviously is just rolling out now, they'll add more function in there for that, which would be cool. That'd be really good. I was asking things like, take a screenshot, can you take a video clip, things like that, and it just wasn't coming back. It was telling me how to do it. The Google Assistant was saying, no, to take a screenshot on Google Stadia, press the the capture button. But I think it'd be cool if you could ask it. That'd be pretty cool.
Did you try launching outside the product? So like, hey, hit the button, play Stranger Things on Netflix. I'd be interested to see if it'll let you get out of Stadia. I
hit it and I did. I asked it if it could leave that game, and again, it told me how to do it using my Stadia controller.
To try that out.
Absolutely. So, we'll probably see a bit more of this, because all of those features that you just said, they are coming at some point. You will be able to just say, I'm stuck in a certain game, help me, and it will take you to the relevant places, whether it be YouTube or whether
there could be commands
available.
That's already there that we just don't know about yet. We just don't think to ask them. That makes sense. They maybe got other stuff there that when they announce this feature, whenever that announcement comes, that they'll tell us that's things we can do.
So next up, we had a small update to the Google Chrome browser as well, and that is the ability to send invites to Stadia to your friends and family from that little icon at the top there, which is actually an envelope for those who can't see it. A lot of people thought, hang on, envelope, that means messaging. Maybe the messaging's appeared on Google Stadia, which I think someone in the comments actually earlier wrote that as well. That it'd be nice to have the messaging feature, but alas, no, it wasn't. It was just an invite, which, to be fair, is not really that functional to me anyway, if you think about it. I mean, back when obviously the buddy passes were there, that was brilliant, but most people can just sign up for Stadia without having to be invited by a link. So
as soon as I saw it, my thought was like, we've finally got messaging, until you click it. But my thought at the moment is, we do know that messaging will be coming in the future. Hopefully announced at Connect with most of the features that we're waiting for. But personally, I think that the icon is for the messaging. Just until it is fully active, this is what we've got, like a little placeholder kind of thing.
See, I don't think so, because then people are going to see that and they've clicked on it before and it's not messaging. So unless you're, keeping up to date with like Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all that lot, then you're probably just going to ignore that feature for the rest of time, really.
Until you get a notification.
Until you get a notification, yeah, but you might not. I don't know. But I think they'll probably use the two chat bubbles or a chat bubble or something to signify that. I'm sure Adam will uncover it when he's sleuthing through the code at a later date. He does.
A later date is probably going to be tonight, because I've just had, you've probably heard my phone going off. I've just had some messages from someone saying I need to look through it. It's changed since yesterday. They've added a whole new load of things in reference to you just run on to the next topic and then I'll talk about this.
This is kind of it, isn't it?
Yeah, so the family sharing it. So the stuff that we found within the code. So I'm going to go back to what I was speaking about in a second, because it's still coming through thick and fast. So let me just get it up on my phone so I can read it. So yes, game demos was the first thing that pops up when looking through this particular script. This script is 7,000 lines long, I'll have you know. And that line there that you can see in Dan's screen is on line something like 2,997, something like that, something crazy, right? However, I did my due diligence. I went through the whole bloody thing, and I found some really interesting things. Not all of them are featured in this article. I didn't want to just give you a load of code. I may do another article tomorrow, for example, or a little bit later. Some of the stuff's big, some of the stuff's a bit smaller, but yes. So game demos, you're going to be put in a queue to be able to play them. We don't know much about game demos other than what was already available to us. And Dan there is showing you a video of how they're going to work. This is a video from Stadia themselves, though I've never seen it anywhere apart from on this channel before. So all you'll have to do is click a little button to say demo or whatever it was that it said, and then it'll load the game up straight from the stream.
Yeah, I believe this was from the first announcement.
Yeah.
Oh,
was,
okay.
So it's probably quite an old look at it. It may have changed from what you're seeing here by the time it actually does launch.
However, you won't necessarily be put in as quickly as shown in that video, because let's say, for example, Cyberpunk, when that drops, if demos are available by then, there's going to be far too many people who are going to try to play that all at once. So they're going to have to bring some queues in, which is understandable. So the next thing that was found was more mentions of crowd play. I'm not going to talk too much about crowd play because we've had a lot of this come up recently, and some of the other Stadia exclusive features. However, it all points towards it coming soon. However, that's Google's favorite line, and I absolutely hate when I'm using it. I could really do with Duncan here to give one of his predictions. Avery, do you like to make bold predictions?
Sure, why not?
Right, when do you think we're going to see it?
I don't think Crowdplay is going to launch until Baldur's Gate 3. But if they are going to launch it in a beta like they're doing with State Share with Crata, it's going to be with Baldur's Gate 3 if they've already released streaming. It's not going to work without streaming, so Crowdplay and Crowd Choice have to have streaming out first, have to have people using it. So Baldur's Gate 3, write it down. That's my prediction.
There's our bold prediction. And I believe Avery's right that streaming has to come first. And I predict that streaming might be announced in the next Connect, because we have found plenty of references to various streamings within the code. I haven't put screenshots in. It's far too much. However, if we move on to the next topic, family sharing, something that we've been requesting from day one. It's become a staple on all gaming platforms. You've got PlayStation, where you can share PlayStation Plus as well, the ability to play online. Xbox, Dan, how does that work? I don't have an Xbox. Can you share games, share subscriptions and whatnot? Yeah, okay, so it's become and Steam as well. I know you can share games on Steam. So it's become the status quo. So it was inevitable that it would come to Stadia, even if they hadn't announced it themselves. But if you look towards the bottom of that screenshot that I've highlighted, you'll see that there's a lot of talk about the parental controls that you'll have as the family owner, which will be interesting because Dan's not going to be able to show you this, but I found text much further down the script. I think it's about line 6,000, which says something like, "We're going to email your parents to let you know that your time has expired," or "You must ask your parents to play longer," or "This game has been locked because you're not old enough for the age rating. Speak to your parents," which is brilliant.
Stupid Google Grass.
And it would be good if that's built into the app for them to just get a notification your child is still playing and there's a add 30 minutes, add 1 hour, turn it off kind of thing on the notification. That makes this streamlined and easy.
As long as there's a ground button as well.
Yeah, and
no more Red Dead for you.
There will be a countdown timer, I believe, as well, because there's lots of space between the two family things, but there's most of it's talking about play time and when you last played it, and there's a reference to a count as well. The final thing in this article, though, there are a couple of other bits that I want to mention as well, is communities. We don't actually know much about this. I've only got really one line of code in reference to this, and I would like to thank Jem, by the way, for pointing all of this out to me. I still spent the time of checking through every line of the code. Well, I say check, was it scanning through? But it was Jem that brought it to our attention. So you must go check out his video. It's in the article, or you can find him on Twitter at Jem Stadia, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't assume that's right, because I assumed that was what his username was. Anyway, so communities could be something a little bit like PlayStation, where you can create private or public communities where you create events, have massive group chats, or they could be implemented in other ways that I'm not. Does anyone else have an idea how this could be implemented?
Could be
It's
like
like the
the
return of
Xbox.
Google Plus.
Oh, you've all got ideas.
Yeah.
Could be like the Xbox. What do they call it on Xbox? You know, when you go on, you see what people have been doing,
Clans.
and then you can see people's screenshots, videos, all that sort of stuff. It could be something similar like that.
Well, you've got your clans on the Xbox as well, haven't you? And there's also it's almost like each game has its own community as well.
Yeah,
so
that's
obviously
That's what
collates
I'm
loads
thinking
of
of.
information. Yeah,
You
so
go into
obviously
the
clans
game-
are things.
The game page, and then I think you go towards the right hand side of the tabs, and there's people's screenshots, videos.
Yeah.
I think they've even started adding now. I saw the other day achievements that people have unlocked in it. People can put that on there as well and stuff like that.
Yeah, people looking to fill their lobbies with games like Destiny, for example, if you're looking for a raid group, and they all appear in there. Obviously, clans are ones that you can create yourself and you can customize them, and then the game communities are just what they are. They're for that game. So yeah, it could be something to do with that. But yeah, as Adam said, big up to Gem Stadia for finding things like this. He's one of the best out there at the moment with kind of digging through Stadia's code and uncovering some juicy secrets. So
I've sent you on Slack. I've sent you a link to the thread of messages that I sent earlier. I'd like, if you could, to bring them up, as long as it doesn't uncover anything we're not allowed to uncover. And it's where I sent loads of other screenshots about things that I found. I won't go into too much detail, but I found reference to group messages. There will be you'll be able to send messages to entire groups of people. Now, this could be the communities things as I suggested, or it could just be the Google Chat feature, and it will mark it if people have read it. And I don't believe Discord. If Discord integration comes, it's not coming soon. It's going to be focusing on Google's own. It's called internal communication. There is also reference to, can you bring up the one where it's pretty much all orange and I talk about beta testing?
don't want to share. I want to click it. There, that one.
Yeah. Okay. So can you read what that says? The long string.
Please note that the Stadia version of the game is a demo only, specific to Stadia servers. Your account will not be transferable out of Stadia. There will be occasional server wipes that will delete your character. We will provide a schedule of when these server wipes will occur when available. Because of this, the developers have enabled a specialized mode that will allow you to select your character's level and gear, so that when the server is wiped, you can pick up where you left off.
So at first, you read that and you think, oh, well, that's talking about demos because it says the word demo. But the developers enabling special modes makes me think, actually, that's not demos. That's about allowing people beta access to games. So it might, obviously, we know about GBTN, and some people, some publishers and developers are using GBTN to test their Stadia games. However, it may be that soon Stadia offers that ability themselves, like how you can sign up for a beta version of an app through the Play Store. And then there was one more. This one is a big one. This one you're probably going to get an article from me. Go down two of them, and it's about, not that one beneath it.
That one.
Yeah. contextual video suggestions. So I have a feeling. I know that not last time I was on a podcast, a couple of podcasts ago, I suggested that Google Assistant in Stadia would be able to bring up videos on tutorials or something. You'd say, help me, I'm stuck, and it would know where you are and it would pop up with a tutorial. And we had a bit of a debate about whether that would work, how it would know, and all that. However, the lines here are, sorry, we couldn't find any helpful videos. Sorry, we cannot find which game you're playing. That makes me think it's contextual. So it's reading your screen, a bit like how your phone does as well. You can say to your phone, okay, what's on my screen? And it will search based what's on your screen. And I think that is phenomenal. That's just crazy to be able to say to an assistant, I need help with this, without being specific, just saying, I need help with this, and it going, oh yeah, this is what you need. That's just mind-blowing.
You could easily, if it was a game, for example, where you had a HUD, you know what I mean? You could easily find out what game they're playing just by looking at the HUD.
Well, it's weird, like, they should know when you hit the button, it's because you're in a game on Stadia. There's no reason Stadia wouldn't know what game you're playing. That line I found kind of weird, but... I mean, it also.
I think they just have to add it there as a safeguard, don't they? Really? So
yeah, and with everything that they can do with scanning photos, scanning videos, it would make a lot of sense if they have a set of YouTube videos they might recommend for you, and basically they just scan the last 5 seconds of what you did and look for matching footage on a YouTube video using machine learning. That would be a very easy way to say, here's a video of somebody who played through what you just did. Hopefully it won't be I also can't figure this out kind of video.
Yeah, but we had the discussion about, you know what I mean, what kind of content that Google suggests is going to be appropriate. You know what I mean? If you're a child, for example, and you say, I can't get past a certain game, next thing you know, it takes you to a YouTuber who's effing and blinding, and you know what I mean? There's that debate again as how much of the content that they suggest is going to be available. If you think about how many games there are and how many things there are to do in a game, you know what I mean? It's a lot of content. So,
I'm all done now, by the way. No, I'm all done. Yeah, I get rather excited about all this. Oh, I'm checking all behind the scenes and all that. But yeah, no. No, there is one more. Stream panel. There will be a panel for streamers. So when the stream integration comes, I guess it's going to work something a little bit like OBS, possibly, or StreamYard, where you can possibly select individual users and send them the state share links, for example. I don't know for a fact, but I know that there will be a separate panel to manage your stream. Now I'm done.
Exciting stuff. So you think we're going to see some of this at the Connect event then, or do you think it's just going to be games?
Well, there's only one of two ways it's going to go. Either they're going to start throwing these things out on, Tuesday, Thursday posts or special posts all to themselves, which then clear space at the Connect for games, or the Connect is going to be, here's a game trailer and it's launching with Stream Share. Here's a game trailer and it's launching with the Assistant or whatever else. And they could make big news either way. It's a matter of how long they want to spend on the Connect, but I don't think there's going to be anybody in the community that would complain if they're like, this month's Connect is going to be 3 hours long. We're going to be like, saddle up, we're in, let's do this.
Absolutely, yeah. So I personally think it's going to be more about the games. They tend to roll these features out silently, and then a few hours later, when everybody's kind of found out about it anyway and done a bit of digging themselves, they go, oh, by the way, we've added this feature. So why break the trend, I think.
Apparently the Android apps recently had an update. It's not been pushed out to my phone yet, but it might be that some of these features are coming very, very soon.
I was just looking on APK Mirror to see if they had the latest APK out, and they don't. So going to be looking for that traditional 9 to 5 Google teardown sometime tomorrow.
Jim gets to it first.
Right.
He says he's gone to bed. He's tired.
Bless him.
He thought it was Friday, so he's gone to bed.
But like you say, there could be some updates looming in that update as well. I've actually dabbled in the past with trying to look through some of the APK code, and I've been able to get quite a big list of strings. But when I look at 9 to 5 Google and I compare the strings that I found to the strings that they found, I know I'm looking in the wrong place, but I cannot figure it out for the life of me where they are looking, because there's no other files than what I can see that, point to the strings that they're finding. So maybe I need to spend a little bit more time on that, and maybe I should start doing an APK teardown as well. But for the meantime, check out 9 to 5 Google, check out Gem Stadia if he's got one. All great places to get your information. So that pretty much wraps us up for the evening, for the night, wherever you're based. What time is it where you are, Avery?
It is currently 6:35 p.m. Nice and early. It's dinner time.
Can I just say I like the lighting behind you? It's very ambient.
Thank you. I got a lot of random Chinese LED strips from Amazon that all work with the Google Assistant. So I could just be like, "Hey Google, set the office to red."
Wow.
It's the nerdy.
You were praying that it worked then, didn't you?
Yeah, just sitting there like, oh, that's kind of pinkish, but I'll take it. Oh, it's because it doesn't want to set the Philips. I have a Philips bulb in here. That's weird. I gotta fix that. Now I'm purple.
I may have to invest in one of them myself. So yeah, unless anybody else has got anything to add before we kind of do our wrap up.
Just a quick one, which is for both Adam and Dan. Throw out Alexa, buy a Google Home.
I've got two. I've only got it for Audible.
That's no excuse.
Oh, it really, really is. It really, really is. The Google Books aren't anywhere near as good as Audible. I'm sorry.
That's why I read Audible on my tablet. I have the Chromebook Duet, and it's a perfect tablet for reading your Kindle books.
I was going to say, how do you read an audiobook?
At some point, somebody wrote them first.
He also speaks fluent Braille as well, don't you? So I just want to thank our patrons, as I always do. I don't know what Adam's doing.
It's like some kind of CD strip bar or something.
I was playing around with my lights.
But yeah, as always, big thank you to our patrons. We've got quite a few platinum people there, some gold, silver, and bronze. You're all amazing. And I believe, Avery, you've got something to say about these?
If you are not a patron of Stadia Source, take a look at the bottom of every single page on the site. There is a button for it for you to become a patron or to buy us a coffee if you just want to toss that in. If you're here on Facebook, we're not streaming to Facebook, YouTube right now, you hear every YouTuber say it. Do the YouTubey things at the bottom of the screen. There's the subscribe button. Hit it. There's the thumbs up. Click it. All of those things matter because YouTube makes us seen by more people if you do those nice, wonderful things. So we got several folks in the live chat still. We appreciate you hanging on. Hit those buttons down below. It really does make a difference. Even if you're watching it later, you're watching it 3 years from now. Hello, future you. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button. It really does help.
Wow. Yeah, so again, big thank you to all you guys as well. And also, as well as we always do, big thank you to Rock for hosting Stadia Source as well. If you've got any, if you're looking to host a website yourself or any sort of web solution, definitely check out Rock's website by clicking on the link at the bottom here. We won't be able to do what we do without his support. So, massive thank you. And with that pretty much wraps up our show. So, yeah, there we go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining us. And we will see you on that next one. Bye bye.
That's how for now.